Florida is a state known for its beautiful landscapes and diverse wildlife. However, Florida faces a growing problem: invasive species. These are plants and animals that are not native to Florida and can cause harm to the environment, economy, and human health. Invasive species can outcompete native species for resources, disrupt food webs, and introduce diseases. Invasive species can be introduced to Florida in a variety of ways. Some are brought in accidentally through international trade or travel. Others are intentionally released into the wild by people who no longer want them as pets. Once established, invasive species can be difficult and costly to control. The impacts of invasive species are widespread. They can damage crops, clog waterways, and reduce property values. They can also pose a threat to human health by spreading diseases or causing allergic reactions. The fight against invasive species is a continuous effort that requires collaboration between government agencies, scientists, and the public. One of the most well-known invasive species in Florida is the Burmese python. Native to Southeast Asia, Burmese pythons are large constrictors that can grow to over 20 feet in length. They were first introduced to Florida in the 1980s through the pet trade. Burmese pythons have become a major threat to native wildlife in the Everglades National Park and surrounding areas. These apex predators have decimated populations of mammals, birds, and reptiles. They have even been known to consume alligators. The Burmese python's success in Florida is due in part to its ability to adapt to a variety of habitats. It is also a prolific breeder, with females laying up to 100 eggs per clutch. The python's cryptic coloration makes it difficult to detect, allowing it to ambush prey with ease. Controlling the Burmese python population is a complex challenge. Trapping and hunting efforts have had some success, but the python's elusive nature makes it difficult to eradicate. Public awareness and education are crucial in preventing the further spread of this invasive predator. While the Burmese python is a highly visible example, Florida is grappling with a multitude of invasive species. Among reptiles, the Nile monitor and the Argentine black and white tegu pose significant threats. These large lizards, originally from Africa and South America respectively, are voracious predators that compete with native wildlife for food and resources. Invasive aquatic species also wreak havoc on Florida's freshwater and marine ecosystems. The giant apple snail, native to South America, is a significant agricultural pest that consumes rice and other crops. The Asian swamp eel, another unwelcome visitor, outcompetes native fish and can even survive out of water for extended periods. Hurricanes, a frequent occurrence in Florida, exacerbate the invasive species problem. These powerful storms can transport invasive plants and animals to new areas, facilitating their spread. The storm surge and flooding associated with hurricanes create pathways for these invaders to colonize previously unaffected habitats. The combined effects of multiple invasive species can have devastating consequences for Florida's ecosystems. The loss of native species can disrupt food webs, leading to cascading effects throughout the environment. This can ultimately impact human health and well-being, as well as the state's economy. Combating invasive species requires a multifaceted approach. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, along with other agencies, is actively involved in control and management efforts. This includes monitoring populations, conducting research, and implementing removal programs. Public outreach is crucial in the fight against invasive species. The FWC encourages citizens to report sightings of non-native species, as early detection is key to preventing their spread. Educational programs and public service announcements help raise awareness about the impacts of invasive species and promote responsible pet ownership. Prevention is always the best strategy. This includes inspecting boats and trailers for hitchhiking plants and animals, avoiding the release of exotic pets into the wild, and being mindful of transporting firewood, which can harbor invasive insects. The battle against invasive species in Florida is ongoing and requires a sustained commitment from individuals, communities, and government agencies. By working together, we can help protect Florida's natural heritage for generations to come.